Hi, everybody. It's Miss Elizondo. I just wanted to let you know that I do have a lot of videos for you to see to catch up to your classes, just in case you have internet issues. Here you see all the videos that I have posted to help you keep your notebook updated or to help you with your syllabus. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my fourth period science notebook because this video is going to help you for week 3 lab experiment. Okay, week 3 lab experiment. We are learning about changes in matter, and it's all a matter of temperature. Okay, so what I want to do is make sure that my science notebook is set up so I can record what happens in my science experiment. So I opened up my notebook. Yep, this is my science notebook. That's the first page I see. Then I see last week's vocabulary words. Turn the page. I have last week's vocabulary, last week's experiment. Then I have this week. Okay, we are doing changes in matter. This is for week 3. I have my vocabulary words. I have my understanding of solids, liquids, and gases. I can increase heat or I can decrease heat and change the physical state of matter. But when I turn the page, this is where I'm going to set up my data table. You can see that here is my data table, okay? How did I do this? The first thing I did was I wrote the title. The title is in the form of a question. How long will it take for an ice cube to melt completely? So I wrote it up here. And remember, if I'm going too fast, you can pause this video and you can copy the title. Okay. I know it's a long one, but it's a long title because it is in the form of a question. You're going to be answering that question before you do the experiment. Okay. Then I have this data table here. What I did is I folded my page in half, kind of like when I'm going to do definitions or my vocabulary, but I'm not. I'm setting up my data table. I folded the page in half and then I folded the page in half again. Okay, I folded the page in half again because I want to have nice straight lines when I fold my page. When I unfold it, I should have 4 columns. Here's column 1, column 2, column 3, and column 4. Okay. Then I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 lines, and I drew a line going across to divide that page in half. Okay. Then I skipped 2 lines to have my titles to my data table. Okay. The first title is process. So here is process. What am I going to do tomorrow for my science experiment? This is what you're going to do. First, you're going to place 1 ice cube in the bowl. Okay. Today, you need to tell me, answer the question. Well, how long will it take for an ice cube to melt completely in the bowl? In this class, I copied somebody's hypothesis. It's a prediction. Okay. It's an educated guess. I've seen an ice cube melt before. I kind of know how it melts. So 10 minutes is what I think is going to happen. Okay. The next process is place 1 cube on my hand. So you're going to place 1 cube on the palm of your hand, and yeah, it's going to be cold. Okay. And then you're going to move it over to the other hand because I know you're going to give this hand a rest, and then move it back and forth to make sure that you don't get too cold on one hand. Okay. So I asked, how long will it take for an ice cube to melt completely if I put 1 ice cube on my hand? I copied somebody's hypothesis. They told me 3 minutes. So I put 3 minutes. Okay. Then, when you're doing the experiment, you're going to make observations. So you're going to observe. Okay. You're going to observe what happens when you place 1 ice cube in the bowl. You see all these lines you have here. You're going to describe exactly what happens. These are your notes. Then you're going to put it on your hand. Now, this is where you're going to have wet hands, right? So you need to make sure that you have your paper towel. Okay, I have my paper towel here. Or you need to have a hand towel. Okay, here's my hand towel or paper towel. You're going to have 3 ice cubes and a cereal bowl. Okay. So one ice cube's for the bowl, the other one's for your hand, and then the other one is going to be for a bonus experiment. Okay. So I don't know the answers yet. All I'm doing is making a hypothesis. I'm predicting what do I think is going to happen. Okay. I think in 10 minutes, the cube of ice in the bowl will melt completely. I think in 3 minutes, the ice cube in my hand will melt completely. Then I'm going to make observations and write them down. Then that's why you need a timer. Okay. The timer is going to be what you actually did. What is the truth? Okay. Was it 10 minutes? If not, you're going to have to record what really happened, the real time. And that's what we have to test tomorrow. Okay. We're going to test that tomorrow. We're going to do the same thing when you place the cube on your hand. Okay. We're going to set the timer and actually test it. Okay. And I will tell you the time if you need a timer. Okay. Does a cell phone have a timer? Yes. Okay. Does an iPad have a timer? Yes. Okay. But those are used just for timing devices, nothing else. Okay. So once I've had all my information documented here, I'm going to go to the left side. Okay, you see this left side? There's nothing here. Okay, the left side is for your lab report. Okay, you're going to have your lab report. Okay, and your lab report is based on what you did on the right side. Okay, so you're going to have to be looking to the right to see what happened, and you're going to create sentences describing what you learned, what you were surprised by, what you liked, what you didn't like. Okay. But remember, we have vocabulary words to use. Okay. When we have to use those vocabulary words in our lab report. So you're going to have to use the word condensation. Yep, these are the vocabulary words you have for this week. You're going to have to use the word evaporation. Okay. You're going to have to use the word freezing. Okay. Freezing. Now, we're going to use the word melting also. Okay. Now we're not going to use boiling because we're not using a hot plate or the stove to boil that ice cube. Okay. We have to keep safety precautions in mind. Okay. So when we do this lab, we got to make sure that we're away from our laptop, away from anything electronic. So I usually use the floor next to me. So you're going to see me do this and look at the camera and then this and look at the camera. Okay. So if I have condensation, evaporation, freezing, and melting, I'm going to have to use the word matter. Okay. I have condensation, evaporation, freezing, melting, matter. And one more, temperature. Okay. So I have to use those words in my lab report when I'm finished with my lab experiment. Okay. And then you can copy my sentence stem. Okay. How to start to write. Because I think that's the most difficult part is, well, how do I begin? Okay. So how do I begin? I'm going to indent in lab today. I learned that. And that's where I leave you. Okay. So in class, I will kind of guide you, okay, as to what you can put. But remember, you have to have these words in your lab report because that is what you're studying this week. Okay. So here's your data table for week 3 science lab experiment. Okay. And your lab report, which goes on the left side on your week 3 science lab experiment. Thank you.